On record. There we go. All right. So, wow, officially welcome everybody here today that's tuning in live, and also everyone who's watching this in the recording. You're with us in our hearts and in our minds. I'm very excited. Like, my heartbeat is going up as we hit record and as I get to welcome you into this training today, the Free Vegan Educator and Speaker Training. So this is a beautiful collaboration between Marquita and myself. We have done some collabs in the past, but this is like the biggest thing we've created so far. And so I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and I think I can speak from the bottom of Marquita's heart as well, that we're very grateful that you're here today. And here's why. Here's why we were so grateful. We believe the world needs more empowered vegan speakers, like Ed Winters, Earthling Ed, you might know him. Give me a thumbs up in the camera if you know him, right? Or Joey Carpstong or Greta Thunberg. Imagine a world where every vegan feels confident and capable of speaking in front of hundreds of people and inspire them, right? So it doesn't matter if it's 10 people, a handful, a one-on-one conversation, or a whole audience. Doesn't matter if it's online or offline. We believe that it's one of the skills a lot of vegans are just lacking to really drive bigger impact, right? And this, what you're going to learn today, doesn't only apply to vegan advocacy and vegan speech, it also applies to any kind of other speaking that you might want to do. You know, if you're into personal development, spiritual ascension, inner healing, whatever it is, what you're learning today will really help you to get out there more, to speak with more confidence, with more clarity, and with more charisma. So what we're going to do with you today are 4 different things in this training. First, we're going to introduce ourselves for everybody who doesn't know both of us or neither of us. We're going to give you a quick introduction around who we are, and we're then going into how public speech improves your vegan impact. That will be a part Marquita is going to take you on a little journey, followed by the public speech and educating skills. This is the longest part in our training, and this will really help you get some practical skills. So I invite you all, obviously, to take notes along the way, right? And then after that, after we dive really deeper into all of that stuff and the skills that you need to develop and you can practice after this training, we're going to make an announcement, because we know this training can only go to a certain extent. And both Marquita and I, we know that experience and practice are very important factors in becoming better and more confident as a speaker and as an educator. So we've also set up a mastermind group that will start after we have this training, and we'll announce that at the end. So if you're all fired up at the end of this training and you feel like you want to dive deeper with us, we'll happily invite you into that journey. And then all the way at the end of the training, you see it here listed on the presentation. Number 5 is a Q&A. So if any questions arise during the training, either feel free to take notes in your notebook and ask them at the end, or just shoot them in the chat function and we'll get back to them later. Just checking if I can see all of you here, because I see mainly the presentation. Marquita, I think if anything happens in the chat, I don't have the chat window open next to the presentation. So you can either interact in the chat if you would love to take that role. And at the end, we're both opening the chat.
Sounds good.
All right. I agree. All right, presentation. Do your next slide thing. There we go. Marquita, my love. I know that not everybody here knows you, and I'm sure that every time you introduce yourself, you're telling us something new about you. So here's a little sheet to see what Marquita is all about, what she's doing, and please share more with you, with us about yourself, my love.
All right. Well, so I started out as a joyful relationship coach, and so relationships are very important to me. And I thank you all for being here. I mean, my heart is just full with gratitude that for you all giving your time here to be with us. We just are very honored. And so back to me, after I did my joyful relationship coaching, I studied feminine empowerment, and I worked on that for a while, which is beautiful. The feminine energy is about discovery, and this is so important in our process and speaking to people, understanding people, discovering. So I saw that vegans were really struggling, and I thought, my gosh, I've got to help vegans that are so angry and so sad. I hear about vegans who are crying at night and they can't sleep, and this is just no way to live. So I switched over to vegan empowerment last year. And it's been just a blessing because the vegan community is so warm and loving. And I just am so honored again to be in this beautiful community, which is based on compassion. So we both, June and I, work with We Did It Health. We're both certified plant-based ambassadors, vegan ambassadors. I work with them, and he is we're working behind the scenes to really up-level connection between vegans, whole food, plant-based people, for everyone that's supporting the environment, and to awaken people to the transformation of veganism and eating natural foods of the earth, really these living foods that sustain us. That's what We Did It Health does, really wanting to heal and let people know that you don't have to be sick when you're elderly. People think, oh, well, being elderly means getting sick, and it's normal to have 10 bags of pills everywhere you go, and it's just not normal. Just like we've been fed different, all these beliefs that we've been fed, we can question them, just like we questioned about eating animals. We can question these other beliefs about getting sick. So that's what We Did It Health is about: thriving with natural foods and loving ourselves, feeding ourselves good food. So I'm also the animal ministry leader at Unity North, and I work very hard to show people that all animals matter. It's not just pets, right? Any animal can be a pet. Any animal can be respected and deserves to be respected. So I do that without pushing veganism, without saying, oh, I'm a vegan. I do this by just subtly sharing love for all animals and how each animal has a beautiful impact and deserves to be living in peace. So I'm also the leader of the Healthy Living Group at Unity North. I just took that over. And again, same thing, not screaming that I'm a vegan, but more connection with the earth and all animals. I mean, to connect with the earth and animals is thriving. It's healthy living. When we disconnect from animals and our planet, we are not living the way that we should. And it shows, right? We hurt when we disconnect. When we disconnect from all people, from the whole being of every person on this planet, it hurts us. When we hate other people, it hurts. So how can we get back into love? I volunteer at the Chattahoochee Nature Center as a animal handler and a docent leading hikes. Again, there I'm spreading the word without saying vegan about animals and our environment. And another thing that's not on here that I recently completed was Victoria Moran's Main Street Vegan Academy. So I'm a certified lifestyle coach and educator. And I want to tell you that academy is amazing, a wealth of knowledge from doctors, chefs, and for people that are working in the animal, against the furs, what am I trying to say? The clothing industry, right? We've got all these leaders that come and talk. So check out Victoria Moran's Main Street Vegan Academy, and please go. And again, about We Did It, we have a We Did It certification. This is a little promo. Please check that out. You can be a certified grassroots ambassador too, to learn better communication so that we can impact animals in the world. And that's who I am. That's some of who I am. I'm very multifaceted. So now I will hand it over to June.
We all are. And like introductions, they could go on for hours. That the challenge in speaking as well is to, keep them precise and stuff. And We Did It Health was a platform where we both connected through. We knew each other before, but like through We Did It Health, we accessed the community to like other empowered leaders. So if you're seeking more of that, if you want to be more part of a vegan community, that's a place for you to check out, and maybe also do their certification program. It's super short, it's super condensed, and it's fun. But enough So my name is June, as most of you know, I'm a certified life coach. I function as an amplifier for our vegan community, and I'm kind of on an investigation. I'm on an investigation to figure out what are the best, fastest, and most efficient ways for us as individuals, but also as a vegan community to like veganize the world faster. And I turned vegan in 2017. I did it for the animals. I bet most of us in here did. Maybe some of you came through veganism or via spirituality, via health. It doesn't matter. You're here now and you're here to spread the vegan message. And this training is, it's one of the, let's say, solutions that I think are the answer to the question, how can we drive more vegan impact, right? So I also have a background in public speech and vegan influencing. So since I turned vegan, I was an activist, I was on the streets, I was engaged in conversations one-on-one. And at some point, I've built the courage to go on stage and to talk about that online mostly, but also a couple of offline speeches. I mean, COVID put us in a space where we mostly had to do that online, which doesn't mean we can have less impact online. We can actually reach more people than in person. So what you're going to learn today is applicable for both online and offline public speech. Now, as you see here, I'm also a certified whole food plant-based / vegan ambassador with wedidit.health, and I wrote a small ebook and it won an award. Maybe some of you have already read it. It's called Elevated Vegan Activism, and it kind of highlights these different visions that I'm having on how we can amplify our vegan impact in the world, right? So if you have any more questions about me, my work, Marquita, her work, you can ask that later on. I want to pass it back over to you, my love, Marquita, with the question how public speech actually improves our vegan impact.
All right. Well, this is very, very important. The first thing that we would think is greater outreach, right? I mean, we can reach so many more people if we get up on stage and if we're shining bright, right? If we believe in ourselves and we have the confidence to get up and speak, we can really make a difference. So I remember when I was so scared and shy and I didn't want to get up and I was hiding, and what kind of impact did that make on the world? None. How did that help the animals? None. So I don't judge myself. I look at myself with love. That was someone who was scared, and that was a version of me who didn't believe she was enough. So now I know I'm more than enough. And I'm going to use my voice for greater outreach, right? Showing the world that we are happy, confident, and fulfilled as vegans, right? This is so powerful when we get up there to make this vegan impact, right? We stand up with pride, with joy, right? We're not mad. We're not angry. We're not judging. No, we're living in peace because we're doing something for the animals, something for our planet. We're living with compassion, right? So when we're getting up there as activists, we show that we're passionate about what we believe, right? Nobody's gonna, it doesn't matter to me if you're not passionate about it. I'm not gonna take that personally. No, because I'm standing in my belief. So that's why it's so important to get out there and do this vegan activism, to be confident in speaking. Because people are gonna say, what is this person who's just like bouncing off the walls? Right? Why is she so passionate? And why, I mean, what's driving that passion? They're going to become curious. So it's really important that we stand in confidence and strength, that even if people throw tomatoes at me, I'm going to go on, right? Because my goal is to get the message out there. The universe put me here to get this message out me. It's not about if my hair looks bad. It's not about, do I think I'm worthy? No, I know the universe wants me to do it. She wants me to step up for animals, and I'm going to do it for her, right? I'm not dependent on anybody liking me. I'm not dependent on people agreeing with me, right? Everything that I have is from the inside. I know that I'm doing the right thing, and I know that I'm making an impact when I get up there and I shine. It's important that we shine with love and compassion, because that's what veganism is about, right? So again, if people see us presenting ourselves this way, they're going to be drawn to that. They're going to want to know, I want to know more about this veganism that's causing her to shine so brightly. Maybe I want to find out. Maybe I want to be a vegan like her. I want to shine like she does, right? Why she's so peaceful in her choices. And that's how we, subtly spread this energy of joy and bring people to us. Again, we want to be attractants, right? We have to be attractants. We can't be repellents. And there's so many vegans out there that are being repellents. And I'm not judging. What I'm having compassion for them is just to understand that they're not on the journey yet of where they can get to the space of peacefulness. So anyway, so this is our chance also to show the world who's listening that, hey, I love you. I'm here to answer your questions about veganism without judgment, without shame, without blaming. Come have a conversation with me afterwards, or I can introduce you to someone else that can help you along this path. And again, we're not judging you. I used to be like you. I understand what it's like, right? It's so important to use your voice to the people to say, I understand you. If they don't think you understand them, they're not going to listen. They're going to walk away. So this is really about being impactful with our voice, having empathy for the audience, right? Showing the audience that I have empathy for them, letting them know I respect you and your beliefs. And thank you for listening to me, right? Thank you for listening to me. I know this process is a journey. Where are you? I'd love to meet you at the place you're at, not where I want you to be at, but I'm respectful of your process, right? And creating a safe space for the audience is really how to be impactful. We've got to create safety. So every time
We're diving into that later. How you're driving into the presentation further ahead already.
well, yes, every public speaking event enhances our own skills and growth every time. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. I just had to switch over to another Wi-Fi. I think I'm more smooth now. Give me a note in the chat if I drop out. That could happen. Anyway, let's dive into public speech and educating skills. So these are the actual skills. Marquita now highlighted that the inner work, building your confidence, building trust in yourself, and really learning how to shut the voices of the inner saboteur, that one that's holding you back, down, create a new relationship with it. That's a big part of this. But what we're going to teach you now, what I want to show you now, is just some really practical ways on how you can improve your skills regardless how confident you feel in.
All right. I think I don't know if y'all can hear me. I think we're losing June. Let's see. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. And I don't know if I can see the chat now, but let's see here. Let me see if I can see you all. All right. Give me a thumbs up if you can see me. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, great. All right. So, well, what I wanted to do now is to just have a little centering meditation, because I really want to bring in mindfulness. Yeah, June is frozen, right? Yes. So I want to talk about mental and mindset preparation. Uh-oh, is June gone? Okay. Well, let's talk about, he'll be back, I'm sure. Let's talk about mental and mindset preparation. First, what I'd like to do is have a little centering meditation.
Jesus
So if
Christ.
you feel like it, oh, you're back. Okay, great.
Back.
Okay. I was going to do a centering meditation for us.
You can do that. Yeah,
okay.
Because that fits the topic. Thanks.
All right. So if you feel like it, I welcome you to close your eyes and just sit quietly and peacefully, holding this beautiful energy of the universe supporting you, letting go of any need to know all the answers, but stepping into a greater field of discovery and awakening. Just feeling the love of all the animals of the planet here supporting you, loving you, thanking you, feeling that energy in your heart, and sending that love back to the animals, just in a big circle. all the people in this world, just this loving light of compassion flowing from us to them, to every animal here, being supported by the winds and the rain and the oceans and the stars, the sunlight, knowing they're standing for your greatness. They're here with us, supporting us every moment of the day on our journeys of life, as we fall down, as we get up, resilient, powerful beings. And really calling in that wise part of you that knows all the answers, knowing they're standing here with you. The future you who loves you so much, that inner child who is so beautiful and pure, connecting to all these parts of you that are so powerful and compassionate, and holding them in your heart with love and gentleness. This beautiful energy of discovery, compassion, and love for all living beings, all elements of the earth. Just holding this energy dear and giving thanks in every cell in our bodies and saying yes, and so it is, and so it shall be. So when you feel like it, go ahead and open your eyes. So I want to talk about, well, thank you for doing that with me. So I want to talk about now about getting prepared. So it starts with you. You are the solution here. It's not outside of you. A lot of times we might think, well, this is going to be the answer to my prayers. I mean, we take and learn and bring the skills into our heart, into our souls, and take the knowledge, and then we give it back to the world, right? It's you, and you have the power to shift. A lot of times we might think we're not enough, but that's not true. We are enough. What we might need to do is develop skills, and that's what we're doing here today, developing the skills that we need for powerful speaking, right? And it starts with here, knowing that you have what it takes. It's tuning into that power. So when you're tuned into the power center, that is unstoppable. That's unlimited power, unlimited potential. If you're feeling like you can't do it, or you're feeling afraid, I mean, we can have compassion for that fear. We also can know that we're courageous and that we're not in our power center. If we're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to fail, people are going to laugh at me, we've stepped out of power center. And we can be aware of that, right? Oh, I'm out of power center. And that's okay. It's normal to fall out of power center. I'm shifting back. So one way to get in power center is to connect with all these living beings, to connect with the universe and say, thank you, universe, right? Like I'm like a butterfly. Look, I've got my butterfly wings on. I'm transforming. I'm stepping into my power, and just acknowledging your beauty, right? Thinking about like challenges that you've overcome, challenges that have been hard for you in your life. We've all overcome them. And a lot of times we don't celebrate those. So I really encourage you to think about some challenge that was so hard and difficult and how you overcame it, and step into that energy, the energy of you and your resilience and your beauty. This is where it starts, right? We've got to begin from a place of power, and that comes from you empowering yourself, realizing, hey, I overcame this, and look how I did that, and I can do this. I am resilient, right? All these limiting beliefs are not me. It's part of life. We all have limiting beliefs, but we all have greater beliefs. And the greater belief is I can do it. I can develop the skills. I might feel afraid right now. That's okay. I love the fear. Hey, I love you, fear. And I love you, confidence. And guess what? I'm choosing confidence now. I'm choosing to be uncomfortable and to move forward. So it's about choices that we make. And doing this with peacefulness and gentleness, right? Being peaceful with ourselves, not beating ourselves up. Because what good does beating ourselves up do? No good. It's very self-sabotaging. So being prepared, again, is lifting yourself up. You're your own cheerleader. Hey, I support myself. I'm not looking at you all to support me because I know I've got it here. It's me, and I'm going to do it, right? How we can better ourselves through these skills is what we're talking about today. So it's a beautiful process. So I'm going to hand that back to you, June, now.
Truly is. And I just asked in the chat how much you all can relate, because it could cross your mind that you're joining a training which is about, public speech, and you might have expected that this is all about skills and stuff. And now you're realizing, oh, there's like a lot of things we talk about up until so far, which go into mindset and inner work. And it's really important for us to highlight that at the first part, because the more you work on your mindset and the more you work on your mental landscape, right, the more that starts translating into your voice. So thank you for sharing that, my love.
Thank you.
There's another part that I want to highlight today, also pre-speech, and this goes into a similar direction. It's called nervous system regulation. And who is familiar with nervous system work? Let me know. If yes, if no, then I'm going to give you a little insight into this today. So basically, your nervous system is like the communication operation center of your body, like your mind, your heart, the thing that kind of like connects everything together. And there is often 3 stages that the nervous system can be in. It's either attacked / stressed, it's neutral, or it's relaxed, right? And when we're talking about this mindset work, what Marikita just did with us when you leaned into her meditation, for example, is she allowed you to have space, to allow yourself to relax your nervous system. Now, what a relaxed nervous system does, it allows you to think more clearly and to be more present in the moment, right? So when your nervous system, let's say you experience stress or frustration or anger, which are very common emotions for us vegans, especially vegan activists, to have, right? When your nervous system experiences that, your nervous system goes into a more stressed state. And usually we see that in animals a lot. You might have heard that, right? The stressed nervous system goes into fight, flight, or freeze. These are like the 3 main stages. And let's say you're on stage or you're hosting a Zoom room like we're doing right now. Let's imagine my nervous system would go into attacked or stressed. I could freeze. I wouldn't know what to say anymore. And that's exactly why nervous system work, which comes with a whole range of techniques, of practices that you can apply in the moment. I teach on them a lot. So we have breathing practices. We have meditation practices, like we just did a beautiful one with you, Marikita. By the way, I'll sniplet out this meditation. I'll put some beautiful background music, and I'll provide everyone in here today with that meditation. So you can take that with you out of today's session and, use it before you go into outreach or before you go into a challenging conversation. So relaxing your nervous system is key, that when you're in the moment with someone, one-on-one in a conversation, or when you're on stage speaking, a relaxed nervous system is key for you to speak clearly and to be present in the moment and make people feel seen, heard, and understood. And with that, also choose the right words to make them land in their hearts, because that's what public speech and educating around veganism is all about. We want to speak into somebody's heart space to awaken their sense of compassion and bring up an aha moment in their mind of like, oh my God, I should be vegan, or like it makes sense to me now more to be vegan, as I understand that it is an act of compassion towards animals, right? And so breathing and connecting with your breath, for me personally, is the most powerful way to do nervous system work and to relax your nervous system. This is a topic that I'm not going to teach on in this course. I have other courses and I have coaching programs where we look at breath work and learning how to breathe properly, but that will, blow the thing of this training. I just simply need you to know that being aware of your nervous system already is a really big step. and let's say you're, maybe even, let's be honest with yourself, before you hopped on the Zoom call, you didn't know if you were going to be called out to speak, right? You were like, okay, it's a training, but maybe he's going to ask me a question, and then I need to speak in front of, how many people are we today here? 13, 14, right? So your nervous system goes into that mode. And for me, it did too. I said before, my heartbeat went up. So what I did is I applied a breathing rhythm to get myself calmed down again. And that's exactly what makes speakers be so present with you, that you feel like, hey, they're like talking to me. Even if they're talking to 1,000 people, they're talking to me because they are, right? We are. Now, if you have any more questions on nervous system, put them in the chat so we can get back to them later, okay? Now, another thing that I learned this the hard way. And I always thought when you get on stage or when you do a live stream online, when you make a video for YouTube, and let's say you're not an amazing editor, you just want to record a video, speak your truth, and then, upload it to Facebook or to Instagram or wherever people can see and hear you speak your truth. At the beginning, when I did that, I always kind of judged myself for preparing notes. And I put Post-its next to my screen, or I even had like presentation. I mean, we're having a presentation on now. So what we're doing here is we're preparing tools and like documents or notes to help us stay on track with what we want to talk about. Because the main focus that I think a public speaker should have is being in the moment and speaking the truth and being really present with their audience, right? If you're coming from the heart and if you're calm, that you can hear your heart, you speak the truth and you speak it in a way that magnetizes. All of us do. There's like an earthling ed type of energy in all of us, okay? So there is nothing wrong, literally, with doing a live stream for the first time. Who here has done ever like a live stream on social media? Say yes, done that, or no, far from it. Annette, yes, you've done. Sue, no. Shanasi, no. I have. Joe, I know you have. Jochen, no. Right. Keep answering whilst I talk. The first times when I did live streams, I had a terrible camera. My tech setup was horrible, but I had something to say and I knew that, right? Pamela, you said you make video. Beautiful. Arvigano, no. And literally every five minutes, sometimes even every 2 minutes, I had to go through my notes. And I took like a moment to do that. Guess who cared? No fucking body. They were here to listen to what I had to say. So prepare yourself, make tools, prepare yourself, allow yourself to have notes in your hand or stuff like that. Back at school, we always used to do that, right? We used to print out these cards and then we would go through that and we would pee our pants most of the time because we all had social anxiety back then, I guess. So we would go through these cards and read off whatever we had to, present on. So don't be ashamed to prepare yourself and have something in your hand. Like I have here on this image, I have my notebook in my hand, right? And one more thing when it comes to public speech, which is what I really want you all to remember today. So your story is your superpower. Your story is your superpower. Now, everyone here has gone on a journey. Maybe you went vegetarian first. Maybe you went vegan right away. Maybe you did the whole pescatarian thing for a year or two. Whatever your journey was like, you went on a journey, right? You have a story to tell. And now here's the thing about your story. Your story was powerful enough to turn you vegan. Your story was powerful enough to turn you vegan. So your story must hold a lot of power to turn others vegan as well, right? And we often underestimate that. We think we need to know all the facts. We need to know how many billions of liters of water are wasted when, one cow is being slaughtered. We don't need to know these facts. We don't need to know these facts, right? What we need to know is what made us go vegan. And along the way, you might have picked up on some really powerful facts to share with other people, right? Like, I don't know, if we ain't going vegan by then, the water supply of the earth will be over, like that might be a fact you know of. Or maybe who here knows how much water it takes to feed a cow until it's being slaughtered? Who knows that? Like I don't remember. I learned it once. But the thing is, in a conversation or in a presentation, you can integrate that. Sure, put that on a note, read it out loud. Maybe people go like, holy fucking shit, that's a lot of water. But what's much more powerful is when you come from your story, because most of the times your story has these relating points with other parts of other people's story, right? So what you experience to go vegan, as I wrote it here, holds the power to inspire others to go vegan as well. So you already have the secret ingredient to step on stage and talk in front of people. And, you hold that magic wand of like, I can cast the vegan spell on you. You hold that magic wand in your hand. And don't underestimate that. That's really important. Don't underestimate your story. And you're probably going to repeat it a lot. People are going to ask, what about cheese? And then you got to repeat the cheese story, how you learned about the dairy industry, where you were, what movie you watched. But that is the key ingredient to turn people vegan, in my experience. When you speak from your heart, how you went on that journey, how you realize these things. Because where does it end up? What's the key word? In people truly caring, being compassionate, and following up with their actions. Makes sense so far, right?
Yes.
So yes,
the story is so powerful.
Right. So another thing that I want to hand back over to you, Marquita, is something that a lot of speakers on stage, like the big speakers, Tony Robbins, for example, they use this really, really well. It's the power of active listening. So I want to give you the word back, my love.
All right. All right. So let's talk about listening here. There are different levels of listening. And first of all, let me just say, I'm not a saint and I'm not perfect. I'm perfectly imperfect. And I am aware that sometimes I'm listening fully and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm thinking about other things, but I'm aware of that. And so this is really great reminders for me as we go over this. So selective listening is only listening to parts of what people are saying, listening to only what interests us. Like, I only want to hear that you care about animals. If you don't care about animals, and I don't care, I don't want to hear what you have to say. And that's it's a big turnoff for anyone. We all want to be heard. We want people to feel us, right? Not just to hear, but to feel. So selective listening is not, it's not about connection. So this might be listening with an agenda of what we're going to say next. So like, hurry up and speak, because now I'm going to tell you all the facts. Cows use this much water and the rainforest is being destroyed at this many acres a minute, right? And so just hurry up with your whatever you're saying. I'm tired of it. So I'm going to interrupt you and say, but do you know this? You're killing all these baby cows. You're destroying the environment. So that's selective listening. Right. And I'm guilty of this. Believe me, like I said in the beginning, I'm no saint. So this reduces trust. How can you feel trust? How can you create a safe space if someone's really not listening? They've got their own agenda here. Like, I know what I'm going to say and just hurry up and speak. So that's not trusting. That's not a safe space. And it doesn't allow for discovery. If people aren't being heard, why should they listen to us, right? They're not going to be open to listening to us if we don't hear them. So they're not going to hear anything new. They're just going to walk away, or they're just going to tune it out, right? Just like we're tuning them out. So I highly recommend that you do not do selective listening. So let's move on to the next. Active listening. So this is giving the other person your full attention. Right? You're not multitasking. You're not looking at the computer also while you're on the phone with them. You're not turned away, right? You're turned towards them, and you're also responding, right, with your body, right? And you're watching their body language, because their body language is communicating. So much when you look at them, you can see, and we're wired to pick up on these cues, the subtle cues, right? So you're seeing if they're feeling uncomfortable. You can see it if they tense up, right? So this is watching for all these verbal and nonverbal messages, and you responding like I'm engaged in the conversation. I'm moving forward with my body to show you that I'm interested, right? I'm nodding my head. I'm saying, mm-hmm, yes, yes, and I'm acknowledging that I'm hearing you. So this is very important and it's very respectful space, which creates trust. And we have to have trust here and respect. If we want to get the vegan message out, we have to have safety for others and for ourselves. Just like we would like to be respected, they would like to be respected too. So that's active listening and deep listening. Now, so this is heart-centered listening, right? Empathy. I have empathy from what I'm hearing. I've put myself to the side, and now I'm going to step under your shoes, right? I'm receptive to what you're saying. This doesn't mean that I agree with it, but I'm open to it. And I'm looking for a place to connect with you, because we have to build rapport. And that comes from deep listening, from heart-centered listening, and being able, again, to pick up on these subtle cues that people are sending us with their body language and their breathing. Are they getting nervous? Are they like, it's like, oh my gosh, she's about to pound me into the ground about veganism. And are they looking scared? Do they look like they want to run away? Right? No. So this deep listening is a kind, loving, centered, heart-centered space. Again, it's a empathetic, supportive, generative, accepting, and trusting. Again, like I said, letting go of your beliefs and stepping in to the other person's beliefs. So when we're communicating with people, there's two kinds of communication, and I don't have a slide for this, but reactive communication is blaming, right? These people suck. You suck because you're eating animals. So that shuts down. Generative communication is open up to newness, open to possibilities, listening from the heart, right? I'm here to understand you. Understand you. This is so important. I'm not here to drive my beliefs down your throat. I want to know where you are so I can meet them. I can meet you where you are at. And the only way we're going to do this is through this heart-centered, loving space of listening with empathy and letting go of judgment and the things that create distance. Again, we want to be attractants. And this is something very attractive. We all want to be heard. It's beautiful to be heard. So those are the types of listening, and now we're going to talk about the power of the pause. So when we're talking to people, just creating some space, some quiet, so they're not overwhelmed. They can take it in. These are new concepts for people, right? And so if you're talking to someone, allow them to have a chance to think. And also it kind of puts pressure on them to speak. If we're just speaking, it's not allowing them to have a chance again, and then we're not listening. So just giving it a moment of quiet, that's wonderful for mindfulness. It brings you back to, wait a minute, where am I? I felt like everything was happening so fast. Now I can take a minute, call myself back into myself, listen to what this person is saying. How does this relate to my life? Just that moment of breath. It's beautiful and it's so powerful. And it's going to shift where they're going to have to think of something to say. It's not like we're putting on the spot, but it's like they're going to be like, a lot of people don't like pauses and quiet. So they're going to be like, why is it quiet? Now I've got to think of something, right? So we're not doing all the talking. It's a beautiful, beautiful, powerful tool to use.
Yeah, it truly is. And it can also, as you said, spark people into like a greater version of themselves, because the pause gives them the possibility to reflect on what they just learned. So beautiful you said that. Power of the pause is really, it's something we underestimate very, very often. And also pausing for us to gather our thoughts is all right, you know. Sometimes in a conversation, and I don't know if you've done this before. If you haven't, I invite you to do that, regardless if it's a conversation or if you're speaking to people. You can just take a breath in between, you know. You can. And hardly anybody will notice consciously, because taking a breath is something everybody freaking does.
Right.
And now this brings me to the ultimate trick to speak confidently and fluently, because I know it's very often, and this is probably most interesting for you, and it's great that we're having this at this point in the training, because everything you heard up until this moment kind of led up to this, okay? So far we've been speaking a lot about preparing yourself mentally, you know, getting inner alignment, getting ready with your mind, with your heart, with your body, your nervous system to speak and to communicate. So this is not only about public speech. This is about having a dialogue, right? It's about creating a dialogue with somebody. And regardless if you're having a dialogue with a person in front of you, let's say your parents or your children or your husband, wife, loved ones, whatever they are, and you're having a dialogue with them. Having a dialogue is basically the same thing I want us all to do if we're on stage and we're speaking to people. Now, obviously, you can't have a dialogue with everybody in the audience. If you're sitting in front of 100 people, you can't have a dialogue with them. I can't have a dialogue with everybody here and deliver the training at the same time. But what I intend to do is I intend to imagine the question my audience has on their mind and speak to them as if I've been asked a question. That's the secret. You speak to your audience as if they already asked you the question. And the difference here is, like, when you imagine yourself going on stage and you're thinking about speaking at others and, you know, having an audience, being seen, being heard, being perceived, being in a room with people, all of these thoughts, they can create stress, right? They can create anxiety because we haven't done that so often. We're not trained. We're not used to do that. But what we're used to is answering questions in a dialogue. We've been talking, communicating since we were kids. Well, maybe, you know, the level of consciousness in our communication varies depending on how deep we've explored conscious communication. But in essence, we all know how to answer a question, right? We all know how to answer a question, and we all know how to answer probably a billion questions. Even if it's not the best answer ever, we can give an answer. So if you're stepping on stage, if you're doing a live stream, if you're recording a video, which in my opinion is something that our vegan community just needs more of. I mean, look at Earthling Ed, look at Joey Carpstrong's videos, right? Now, I know they're professional, they have good microphones and all of that, blah, blah, but we don't need that. Imagine the vegan community stepping up their game, each individual at a time, and speaking their wisdom, their story, their knowledge into videos and uploading that to the World Wide Web. And then maybe 10 people, maybe 100 people, maybe even 1,000 people will watch that reel, that video, that live stream. And that's how we can influence more big time. And the only thing that you got to do is, obviously, you know, you get yourself mentally prepared, you do your routine, you do your nervous system regulation, whatever it is that you need to get ready and feel good in your body and soul and heart. And then you show up and you answer a question as if anybody has asked you. As if somebody would have asked you a question, you just go up there, you answer the question. That's the trick, right? And when you're answering a question, you're not going to think about, oh my God, like, what words am I going to choose now because I'm speaking publicly? No, your mind is going to think about, I'm answering a question, as I'm already used to. That's what, at least for me, has really done the trick in getting myself out there, speaking publicly, on stages, online, wherever, and feeling, you know, confident. And look, English is not my mother tongue. Like, I'm lacking words here and there. I stumble across my own words here and there. But does it matter if I would talk to somebody in a dialogue? Would it matter to them? No. So why the fuck should it matter to an audience? It doesn't. It doesn't. You're there to deliver a message and answer a question. That's the trick. Yeah, that's the key takeaway that I want you all to walk away with. That's really the key takeaway. And post-speech moments, right? So imagine you've done a live stream, you've interacted. Maybe in the future, you'll be hosting a training like this. Maybe you'll have 10, 20 people in a Zoom room. You'll deliver something beautiful to help elevate the vegan impact, to help people become more conscious, become more aware, whatever your gig is, whatever your calling is. And I know you have one, you probably have 1,000. We have so many callings, and one of them is clearly animal liberation and freedom for all beings. That's what unites us, right? What drives us as a community. What is important that when you held a speech, you delivered a speech, you went on the streets, you did outreach. Who here is like an outreacher? Who here goes on the streets and does vegan outreach, Cube of Truth, We the Free, diamond formations, like kind of stuff like that, or hand out flyering? Pamela, you do? Yeah, that's a very common way of activism. And then you're also going into conversations, right? Now, what's happening after that is if you have a great vegan community, you'll get together, you'll be amongst each other, you'll eat something vegan together, and you're unwinding, you're relaxing, you're maybe celebrating yourself, and you're recharging. Because it can be draining, especially if you're doing outreach, right? Anonymous for the voiceless, very heavy. You're being exposed to that footage as well. So make sure post-outreach, post-speech, post-educating is pre-educating. Make sure to go back to your nervous system, to regulating yourself, to going into your heart, to practicing mindfulness, meditation, breath work, movement, yoga, whatever it is. If you don't have these tools, Marquita and I are here to teach you those in other coaching containers. We offer that, right? So post is pre and pre is post. Now I want to speak the invitation, my loves, because I know that everything we've talked about up until so far is, it's really helpful, and you can run with it from now on, right? You can take the information had and you can run with it. But because both Marquita and I know how challenging it is to do stuff on your own like that, like to break habits, to create new mindsets, to develop yourself into a new version of you, we decided that we're not only hosting this free training here to give you like these foundational components, but we have also put this together a mastermind, a 6-week mastermind, where we practice that stuff and we really help you integrate what you've learned today over 6 weeks. And presentation, exactly 6 weeks with Marquita and June to grow the confidence and the skills and the charisma to speak like a pro in public, outreach, and online. Because today it has only been the initiation, And I know you are at different stages with your speaking skills. You're at different stages with your confidence. But in my belief system and in my world, we can always elevate. We can always become a greater version of ourselves. We can always, get more skilled, refine our speech more. 2 years ago, I did live streams and I look back at them and I think, who was that? And I love that person. I love that person. But we can always grow and elevate. So this is an invitation for all of you that would want to invest in yourself on such a level. You can stick around now. We'll walk you through these 6 weeks ahead that we're starting in March, and then we're taking all the participants through a journey. And I'll leave to Marquita to tell you what exactly these steps will be and how these weeks will look like. So if this interests you, you can stay around in the Zoom room. And if it doesn't, if you feel like you got it all and you don't want to join such a 6-week immersion with both of us, then you're free to, I don't know, go get a drink or something and wait until we're through these 6 weeks and then drop into the Q&A with us. Thanks. So Marquita, my love, tell us what's up in those 6 weeks.
All right. Well, first, I'd like for you all to put in the chat, how confident do you feel in speaking, right? I mean, where do you stand now from 1 to 10? I'd love to know where you are on your journey. So let's see. Week 1 is the kickoff, and that's so exciting. It's always exciting. And being in groups, my last group coaching was, we made such lifelong connections. It's so beautiful. And so getting to know our inspiring group of vegans. Who has committed to this? Who's shown up, right? This is a commitment, and it's impactful that you're making a stand. So we're meeting each other, defining goals, getting clarity, what we're going to do, and setting intentions. We're not going to be confused in this process. We know what we want, and we're going to get there, right? We're going to talk about dialogue versus monologue and introducing the practice hubs. We're going to have a WhatsApp group for participants to schedule practice sessions with each other. And it's so important to practice. These are skills to be developed. This isn't like, well, I'm a bad person because I don't know how to do this. No, you are an amazing, beautiful leader, and your leadership is growing. Just like for June and I, we're growing in this process together with you in this Zoom room. We're all growing, and it's beautiful. So that's week 1. And then 2, connecting to your audience, what we've been saying, we've got to know what they want so we can answer the questions like June was saying. What are the questions they want answers to? We have to know them first. Understanding their perspective, like where do they stand on these issues? We're talking to an audience of many different at different stages, right? So we're going to connect with them and building trust and relatability, like creating safety for them, again, understanding them, speaking into their hearts, right? With empathy, leaving judgment behind. And this is crucial. It's beautiful to connect because that's what's going to be so powerful in getting the message across. So week 3 is going to be pre-speech, mental and emotional preparations, which we did talk about. Nervous system work, mindset, and presence practice. We're really going to dive deep into these, connecting with this calm, peaceful place inside of ourselves, so we are ready to go from the peaceful, calm, powerful place to take off and speak and be confident in what we say with our powerful voice. So yes, get ready for that. And so week 4, in action, online and all, speaking in simple dialogue, speaking online in video or live streams. And we really, it's exciting. Live streams are a great place to start. Speaking in front of a group or bigger audience, structuring a speech, audience experience and journey, and hats and tricks for magnetic speaking, right? How to build charisma, right? What keeps people engaged? You know, maybe what do you need to wear? What do you need to be? How can you engage your audience? All right, so next week, practice circle. This is very exciting. Seeing how the growth, right? Your growth, 5 to 10 minute participant speeches. And my gosh, just being here is showing that your commitment to becoming greater in speaking, right? You showing up here is a sign that you want to grow, and receiving feedback from us. And we are so loving and honored that you would be in this. You know, if you're being here, we're honored, and then being in the mastermind, right? And that's a tremendous step in honoring that step with beautiful feedback. All right. And then again, practice circle, 10 to 15 minute participant speeches, feedback from coaches, mastermind closure, and celebration, celebrating you, me, and June for all coming together in this space of growth and new awareness and discoveries, and sharing what we've learned. What are the takeaways? Yes, I'm very excited. I'm starting to burst. Okay.
Oh, I feel that too. Like my heartbeat is going up again. I have tinglings on the background. Yeah, week 6, like when I envision how week 6 will look like, that will be like the second round of our practice hub, of our practice circle, where you get to hold a speech, you know, on whatever really is your story. And in the weeks ahead, we help you refine that, obviously. And then we're also handing out certificates of completion, so that when you're asked to speak on stage, let's say you have like a local a vegan event or an environmentalist event or something, then you can apply and you can say, I've done a training on vegan public speaking or public speech, however you want to voice it, depending on who your audience is, right? If you have environmentalists that might be a little bit weird and judgmental towards vegans, you say, I have a certificate in public speech and educating. So this will really set you up with like everything, the practice, build the confidence, even from level 7 and 8. I see like there's high levels of confidence here already, which basically would mean like if you join this, because a group setting is always elevating each other as well, right? So we're kind of like feeding off each other's energy in a way that it doesn't take it away from each other, but that it amplifies one another. So the more confidence we already get to start working with, the faster we can boost. And, you know, then it might take a year and you're in front of, I don't know, 200 people at a veg fest or something, or at, I don't know, what events are there that
TED Talk.
only a TED Talk. That's still a goal of mine. I want to get like here in Bali. I don't think we have one, but I'm still aiming to stand on a TED speech one day. And we need more vegans on stages like that. We really do, right? So that's the layout of the mastermind. And additionally to these 6 weeks, what Marquita and I, we discussed this and we decided we want to offer that to you as a free bonus is a one-on-one coaching session with each of us. So that's not included in the price. I'll tell you the price in a minute. That's just a bonus additionally to really dial in, where are your blocks still left? Do you need to do more mindset work, nervous system work? Or do you need to, you know, have more practical skills? Whatever it is, we'll both gift you a one-on-one coaching call with us additionally to that. And we decided that we're limiting the spots to this mastermind because we, you know, we want to give everybody the undivided attention to the extent that we can in a group. So we limited the spots. And if you want a spot, we're starting begin March already. So that's in 1.5 weeks, in 2 weeks. If you want a spot, or if you want to know more about this and you're highly interested, you can like leave your email in the chat right now, and I'll take note of that and I'll send you more details later on. Just put your email in the chat if you want to know more about this. And as said, we start this March, and the world needs your voice now. Really fucking does. Yeah. My loves, this is the end of our training today. And if any questions have arisen for you, if anything that you want to share or speak, I'll close this presentation here. I'll provide you all with the sheets in this presentation, by the way, so you'll have that later on and you can go through it in your own time again, right? And you'll have the recording of this as well. So let me close this thing so I can see your faces a little bit better. There we go. So if anybody has any questions around what we've talked about, any thoughts that you want to share, this is the time and space to do so, my loves.
Well, thank you, June. This is exciting, and I really welcome everyone to be a part of this. This is for people that are committed, right? This is a big step, and it's not something that we take lightly, right? We want to make sure that you are the right fit and that you will go through the process, and we're there to support and give you everything you need. And that's why we're offering those one-on-one sessions also, because sometimes it can be tricky. You can get caught up with those limiting beliefs. And so being able to recognize what they are, sometimes we can't see them, but if you have a coach that is able to see them and bring them to your attention, and what would be the greater belief here then? That would be to be discovered, right? And that's what, this hindering belief, we can move past that. And so that's why we're providing you the one-on-one sessions, which I'm excited about too, meeting everyone in the group individually, because this is, again, relationships are so important.
And you have a comment, shoot us. Annette, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I called you Annette.
Yeah, just a quick thing. So I don't know whether anybody else kind of will resonate with this, but I think for me, June, when I first met you, is like, some of us, if we're like, let's say older, like when I first became, vegetarian when I was a kid, obviously we didn't have online, we didn't have any of this stuff. So you were very much kind of like learning it through, flyers, marches, all these kind of things. And what I've noticed over the sort of the decades is I felt very much kind of like a lone warrior with it. So I think that's one of the things that I've really appreciated about meeting you and then listening to this today, is because when you are deeply entrenched in it, it's been like 40 odd years for me doing this stuff, that my perspective is very one-dimensional, meaning my passion and care for the planet, for animals, and because of my 30 odd years martial arts background, I have such strong warrior spirit that I recognize that when I met you and listening to this, what there's never been anywhere is the support, understanding that each different person brings, like you said, different stories, different qualities, different experiences, and that collectively I can gain from having that thing about, I mean, when you was talking about the nervous system, I know for all the years I've seen things, I'm still continually triggered by it, because I cannot watch anything, even if I've watched it for 10 years, 20 years, that it just still has the same effect on me. And then what I recognize is I take that pain, and then I'm really judgmental with the way that I throw it out there, because in my head and my heart, I'm like, why are people still doing this? Why are we still stuck? What is going on with these people? Why is everybody so stupid? And so I get really, you know, angry and aggressive.
Yes.
And and it's hard for me to so when I'm listening to you two and listen to this, one thing that I really feel is important is other people's perspectives and viewpoints, because I do feel that there is a place for everybody. And what I've realized is, you know, when you've got really kind, caring hearts that can do that deep listening, those sort of people are amazing dealing with people who are maybe at the very, very start of an awakening. And then other people might be the next step, the next step, and the next step, and the next step. So for me, something like this is really important for everybody to recognize that where that place is for them and how they can best elevate what they do. Because I really, really recognize, like we were talking about Earthling Ed and Joey Carbstrong, that me personally, I cannot be an on the streets person because I don't have their depth of calmness. But because from a business perspective,
yes, you could.
Yes, I can work with people that are more like on that turn and on that thing. And then what you said about the empowerment, I mean, one of the dojo programs I do is called Indomitable, and the Indomitable spirit is for the warriors that then want to go out and create businesses in that space. So the point I'm trying to make is that there is space for everybody. And what I've really appreciated about listening today and having met you, John, is like really opening my heart back up to people, because a lot of the time I know that I am so closed because I'm in that constant, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? And that doesn't really get me anywhere. It gets me into a lot of competitive arguments with people because they obviously feel attacked and then they're defensive. So, you know, I know that probably sounded a bit of a mumbo jumbo, but but for me, it was a very heartening experience, and I can really see the beauty of a group and how that will elevate each different person where they're at and where is right for them, to understand that as a collective we've all got a different part to play.
Indeed. Does anybody want to piggyback on those thoughts? Really powerful thoughts. And I love you, Annette. Like when we spoke on the phone in our clarity call or discovery connection call, whatever we want to call it, I love you. Like I really see where you're at, and you bring so many skills to the table, and you said it so nicely. It's just not where you function to your best. And I think a lot of vegans see other vegans and they're like, I want to go there, or I want to do that. And, you know, this is how to drive impact, but you function differently. You have different skills, and to bring them to the table elsewhere is finding your zone of brilliance, and also like owning your audience, choosing your audience. Like, do you want to speak to vegetarians more because they're closer to the shift, or do you, you know, are you better in conversations with people that only eat fish, pescatarians, right? Or are you really good on your spiritual path, and you can have great conversations with like people that are spiritual but still eat meat, for example? Like learning and owning your audience is what comes up for me. Anybody else, any other thoughts on this?
Well, I think that it was very courageous of you, and I love the way that you realize, you have clarity on what needs to be developed, what skills need to be developed. That's the first step, because if we don't know what we need to develop, we just stay in those loops that don't work, right? I'm doing the same thing, it's not working, but you're aware, this is what I need to really connect more in that heart space. And then you're here on the meeting. I mean, here with us shows that you're taking the steps. So it's beautiful. And I just want to celebrate that. June celebrating it. Yeah, that's one thing that, I mean, it's very, very important that we celebrate ourselves. A lot of times we just don't do that. And we've got to be our own cheerleaders. Every little step we make is beautiful, and it's transformation, every little baby step. So do it, celebrate.
Yeah. Anybody has any other thoughts? Feel free to share them either in the chat or, oh, Sue, you have sort of a question. Well, you shoot us with it and we'll see if it is a question or sort of a question. Okay.
No, I just wanted to ask if anybody was coming to the major UK event, which is the Vegan Camp Out in July. So I just want, people do fly across the world to come to this event. So I just wondered if anyone was coming.
I'm planning on.
You are. I thought you might. Anybody else? It's a great event. Ed's been there. Joey's been there. All the big leaders have been there. And newly converted celebrities are going.
Jochen, you said something. Are you going?
I'm thinking about it. Maybe it's in UK. Yeah?
It's a brilliant event.
Where is it?
It's where they've changed the location. It's somewhere in the middle of England.
Yeah.
I can let you know, obviously, but I can't remember. It's somewhere near Oxford. It's that sort of area.
Actually, you know what? You said in July. It's in July, right?
Yes. Last weekend. It's 28th.
Okay.
It's 4 days this year for the first time. The 28th until whatever.
Okay. Because I'll be in Europe. I have to follow up some duty as a Swiss citizen. All men have to do like duty, either military or social work. And I've kind of danced around it for the past 3 years. I've just been in Bali, figuring ways to not finish it. And I have to go back and do 2 months from what is it? From June until end of July.
Wow. Oh God, that would be fantastic.
I took note of it. Oh my God. Okay.
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might surprise you there. I'll let you know.
Well, there you are. What a way to finish off. If you've got 2 months or whatever in Europe, then come to the Vegan Camp Out.
That's the thought that just was created. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, I mean, I've like the Vegan Camp Out is an event that I've been like, I've got my eyes on it. You know that song? Got my eyes on you.
People
my eyes on that event.
Yeah, people fly from all over the world to go to it. So it is a
so I might be close by. Let's see if we manage that. Thanks for, putting that open. I think, like events like that. During COVID, we had so many, like online events, which are great when they're hosted well. Like, honestly, I've been sitting in rooms where I was just like, ugh. But also I've been in rooms where I was like, this is phenomenal. This is cool. This is inspiring. This feels like I'm with my family, even if we're sitting all in our living rooms, and I have the same feeling now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more in-person events, and that would be so fun to like have it be the first in a long time. 28th. Okay, I'll do my research. Thanks for putting that up. Wow. Loves, does anybody else have any questions, any thoughts that you want to share, anything that crosses your mind? And if it does not now, Marquita and we stay available online, obviously, if the internet doesn't break down, which I don't think will happen. You can shoot us a message anytime, we're available on social media. You know that. We've been connected, all of us, via Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever it is. And yeah, one last time before we close this, let me know if you have any thought that you want to share. And then after that, I would love to close this with a little breathing practice to get your nervous system into a state to continue the day, because you might have, you know, a lot on your mind now because we learned a lot today, I guess.
And I'd like to take a screenshot of us.
I did.
Oh, you did already? Okay.
Yeah,
well, what if I wanted
did.
everybody to get on camera?
Oh, can everybody get everybody who's so comfortable with it? We would love to see you and like have a screenshot and then share that and tag that you joined this training. Yeah, hair and makeup, Brandon. If you really don't, that's all right as well.
Right.
Nobody is ready for camera. Nobody is camera ready.
All right. Well, let's do it. And do another one. So everybody smile.
Everybody,
look happy.
Smile. Gosh, how do I do this? There we go.
Thank you.
Oh, you don't have it. Oh, okay, I see. Anyway, so thank you, Annette. Thank you, Sue, Joe, Shanacy, Peggy, Irvig, Ano from the Philippines. You joined Brandon. Thank you, Tessa. Marquita, thank you so much for co-hosting this with me. Joe and Jochen as well. So for anybody who feels like you want to, you know, unwind into some breathing with me and relax your nervous system, feel free to stay. And if you're like, no, I don't want this, you can do your own thing and go ahead. We love you either way. All right, loves, for everybody who wants to stay, close your eyes. Change the way you sit in that chair or on that bench. Move yourself around a bit. Yeah, there's probably stuck areas in your neck, huh, or in your lower back. Just give them some movement. Whenever you feel like, okay, you're sitting in a position where you feel your spine is straight. Even if you're queer, you have a straight spine. I want you to take an inhale through your nose and an exhale through your mouth. And every time you repeat that, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, I invite you to see if you can lengthen the exhale through your mouth a tiny little bit. So inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Feel free to make a sound if you want to. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. With your next inhale, become aware of how soft your belly is. Send your air into the belly, let it blow up like a balloon. Exhale, release the tension down there. Inhale a little bit softer than you did before. And with your exhale, relax your face. Relax that face. As you're simply putting your awareness to that breathing pattern, and you're softening into your breath, you're lengthening your exhales. Can you become aware of how your heart starts beating slower? And as you inhale, how those beautiful lungs of you are hugging your heart softly. And as you exhale, how the space comes back to your heart. Just stick with the breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. and let the breath do the work. Even if your mind is racing, maybe reviewing the things you learned in this training, simply let your breath relax you, because your breath has the power to do that. So with your next inhale, I invite you, as soon as you hit the top of your inhale, hold your breath. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. And now release through your mouth. Ah. One more of those. Inhale through your nose. Fill yourself up with love, air, gratitude. Hold on the top for 3, 2, 1. Slow release through your mouth. Now take those beautiful palms of your hands, place them on your heart. With the pressure, feels loving, gentle. Yeah, find that heart. Can you find it? And in your mind, or even out loud, I invite you to repeat the words, I thank myself. I thank myself for being present here today. I'm grateful for being part of this community that awakens the unity within the word again. Yeah. Gift yourself that love, honey. Gift yourself that compassion. One more breath and just think the words, I thank myself. Because by showing up here, I'm also showing up in the days, in the nights ahead, for all beloved beings on this planet, for my friends, my family, regardless of human or animal, or plants or trees. You being grateful for yourself means you vibrating in that frequency of change, love, and true freaking positivity, not the fake one, just really true positivity. So with your next breath, you can open your eyes again, look at the screen one more time, and send these beautiful vibes to all of those people in here. You can place your hands towards the camera, spread that love. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you. Namaste, vegan.
Thank you.
Namaste, vegan. That's cute. That's so cute.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet everyone else.
You. Yeah. Bye-bye.
So much love to you all.
Bye.
Blessing. We'll all be in touch. And mwah.
Yes,
Nothing
thank
else.
you. Love y'all.
Bye-bye.
You guys. Bye.
Bye.